It's time now for my royal masterminds, Lady Colin Campbell and Phil Dampier. And speaking on the Off-Menu podcast, left-wing Lovey and Alan Partridge star Steve Coogan's caused outrage by labelling supporters of the monarchy, which is the majority of Brits, by the way, in fact it's 2/3 of Brits, flag-waving idiots. Watch this.
I am an anti-monarchist. Most of the people who are into it all, those flag-waving plastic boater people, are just, I think, are kind of idiots because they support a power structure that keeps a foot on the throat of working class people.
Yeah.
And I'm just not very keen on that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, there we go. So, Lady C, I will start with you. Is this Coogan's very own Alan Partridge moment, do you think?
Well, I know he's a comedian, but I can also say he's an idiot as well as and a joke. You know, labelling 2/3 of the British population's idiotic when he's the idiot. He must have been looking in the mirror. I mean, does he not realise how totally offensive he is? And what's this rubbish about him taking up for the working classes? Most of the working classes are in favour of the monarchy. So is he taking up for the working classes at the very moment he calls them idiots? I mean, the man is a joke.
OK, that's your view. Phil, I'll bring you in now. You know, what do you reckon to what he said there, that the majority of people who support the royals are essentially flag-waving idiots?
Yeah, good evening, Patrick, or should I say, aha. I've always wanted to do that. I'm a great fan of his. I'm a great fan of his work, actually, but he does come up with some very strange things. I mean, as Lady C says, to brand 35, 40 million people idiot is absolutely ridiculous. It's not a class. It's not a class issue at all. I mean, all the polls show that people across all classes support the monarchy. Although I'm sure there are plenty of people out there who want to get rid of it. But the thing that surprises me is he didn't have a good word to say about King Charles. I would have thought some of the things that King Charles said would be right up Coogan's street. But apparently, the only likes about him is the Dutchy original orange juice. So I'm not quite sure how that works.
Yeah, I mean, look, standing up for the working classes, right? This guy's owned a fleet of Ferraris in his time. You know, I think it's widely perceived as enjoyed the company of some rather elegant ladies and shops at Waitrose, right? I mean, forgive me, but he's not your normal bloke who throws darts down the pub, is he? I mean, come on. Lady C, he called the Queen all right. She was better than all right, wasn't she?
Oh, yes, of course she was better than all right. But, you know, praise from him, that is high praise indeed from him. So I suppose she's all right is everybody else's. And remember, most of the world thought that the Queen was the most wonderful head of state and that she was the most revered head of state on earth, justifiably because of her conduct. So I suppose if he says it's all right, we should maybe genuflect in his direction.
I'm sure he would probably want that quite deep down. Yeah, I mean, Phil, I just wonder with him whether or not he's part of this cohort of kind of self-hating multi-millionaire Brits. And we would speak about flag waving, don't we? I mean, he'd probably drape himself in things like the Palestinian flag. There's a fair bit of hypocrisy here, isn't there?
The thing the Republicans never tell you is what they would replace the monarchy with. I mean, you know, we'd have a clapped-out politician, probably someone like Tony Blair or John Major. Yeah, that doesn't appeal to me at all. And
there's a risk. Seriously, sorry, folks, but there's a risk. The way that these politicians rehabilitate themselves, the risk we'd end up with balls.
Yeah, if it's working, why fix it? I think most people. It's been going 1,000 years. It's got its faults, of course it has. You probably wouldn't start with a system like that, but it works for most people, and they rally around it. And they're not going to rally around someone like Tony Blair.
No, not again. Anyway, if I could go back in time now. Right now, the hit Netflix series The Crown had promised they would handle the death of Princess Diana, quote, sensitively. And the full trailer for the new season has just dropped. I believe we can have a little look and a listen, and then I will get your reactions as to whether or not Netflix are keeping their words. Take it away.
Don't really understand how I ended up here. Dashing around.
So the
against a background of raw emotion, the royal family remained silent.
What do people want from me?
For you to be mother to the nation.
Gosh, OK. Lady C, should they be touching on it at all? I suppose they have to.
Woo! I'm a ghost. I mean, no, it's ridiculous. But having said that, it is ridiculous that they would have her as a ghost, or Diana as a ghost, and, you know, speaking to the Queen and sort of maybe giving the Queen directions from whether it's heaven, hell, or purgatory is beside the point. The fact of the matter is that, putting that aside, I actually think that Netflix does things beautifully. You know, the Diana girl is a really wonderful evocation of Diana.
Yes.
She's very convincingly Diana. And they film it beautifully, and I think, you know, it's really top grade entertainment. The problem is, of course, it bears little or no relationship to the truth, and they push their own agenda. And I mean, people don't realize it, but Peter Morgan's father-in-law was Prince von Unzu-Schwarzenberg, whose palace in Vienna is the same size as Buckingham Palace is in London. So, I mean, the hypocrisy that's involved.
Absolutely. I can just say, Lady C, I would love to go on a night out with you. I think it would just be one of the most hilarious experiences in my life. But, Phil, final comment from you now. Do you think that this is fine? Is it appropriate? What Lady C was talking about there is later on, they show Diana as a ghost.
Well, she's absolutely right. Elizabeth Debicki is fantastic. I mean, the voice there is incredible. I don't normally watch The Crown. I might look at this one. I think if it actually shows the story, because it does actually lead up to her tragic death, if it actually shows that in a factual way, especially coming to a new audience of young people, it could be a good thing. If it doesn't focus on the conspiracy theories and it keeps to the facts, that could be a good thing. But, yeah, it looks sensationally done, and she looks brilliant.
Both of you, thank you. I absolutely love you two. I'll see you again very, very soon. Take care. OK.